Week on Stormwatch, we'll learn more about navigating the features of MATC's Blackboard.
Blackboard's a learning management system that's used for online courses.
We'll take a look inside the animation department.
This room is one of the new and exciting things in the animation program. This was added a couple years ago and is one of the first of its kind in the world, actually.
And we'll give you a behind-the-scenes look of the making of our own Stormwatch.
Welcome to Stormwatch. I'm your host, Caitlin Sagert. My guest today is TJ Bride, who is a TV student here at MATC. Thanks for joining us, TJ.
Thanks for having me, Caitlin.
So my first question for you is, why the TV program? How did you get into this?
Sure. For me, I was looking for something where I could be creative, but at the same time work within a framework. If I'm able to just do whatever I want, I'll get nothing done. So I like television because you have to follow a certain path to get something done, but you're able to do it creatively. So it's problem solving and it's still able to be creative. It's something I was looking for.
Did you take any courses in high school, or was it after high school that you decided that this was the route you were going to go?
At my high school, they offered one video production class, and I did take that. The class was obviously, it was a big joke. We spent most of our time on our computer playing mini clip games. I don't know if you remember that website, but
yeah.
Did a lot of that. But I was able to produce 3 or 4 short videos that I learned a lot from, and I learned that I liked it and that I was good at it. So I did do that in high school.
Nice. And then why did you choose MATC for this program? I mean, there's so many different colleges that offer TV programs. Why MATC?
Well, really, it's actually kind of the reverse of that. I chose MATC, and then I looked for a program within it that I would like. I had spent a few years at UWM, and that didn't work. It's 4 years, it's tough. Those colleges are very difficult. So I bounced out of that, and I was kind of just treading water for a year, looking for something to do. And I wanted to get back into college, so I thought it'd be better to ease myself in. So I went to MATC and I looked at all their programs, and I was just looking for general things. And then all of a sudden, TV just hit me right in the face, and I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. So
you're happy with that choice that you made?
Absolutely, yeah.
Were you shocked at all when you walked in at first? Were you overwhelmed?
I was definitely overwhelmed. I remember the first day being very nervous to meet everybody. I actually kind of had this assumption that everyone that was going to be coming into the program was going to be, coming from high schools where they have news programs. There's so many schools I thought that had these morning announcements that were on TV, and there'd be all these kids that have all this experience. And so I always thought I'd be coming in way behind the 8 ball. I thought I would be old. It turns out I'm one of the younger people in the program, and really no one in the program aside from a few classmates have real experience. So once I understood that, I was much more calm.
All right, well, I have more questions for you.
Great.
But first, we're going to take a look at one of MATC's most used student resources, Blackboard. While every student needs to use it, not all of them understand it. Then we look into one of the more unique programs offered here when we go inside the animation department to see some of the amazing things created by very talented students. Take a look.
As we enter the digital age, MATC responds with Blackboard. Teachers and students find the advantages of its use. Now we're going to take a look into the system and see what makes it tick.
Basically, Blackboard's a learning management system that's used for online courses, however, also utilized for face-to-face classes as well.
If you're logging on to Blackboard for the first time, don't stress, it's easy.
To log into Blackboard, you would just visit you can start by going to the MATC homepage, which is www.matc.edu. On there's a link to the Blackboard. You will then log in. If you're a first-time user, you will log in with your 7-digit student ID number, and then your password is your first letter of your first name, first letter of your last name, 2-digit month, and 2-digit day of birth. Once you change your password, of course.
Blackboard is a great way for instructors to communicate with their students.
There are over 2,300 classes using Blackboard. Instructors can include different means of content in their classes, such as video, photos, links to other sites.
At first it was just my exams. And I put the exams on there, you create the exams, you put them on there, you have all these different options. But then I expanded it this semester and last semester to include handouts, any updates that I need to give my students so they can look at a rotation schedule to see what they're working on that day. So I put those on Blackboard too.
Students also find Blackboard useful.
By getting information from the teacher that I need to know beforehand for tests, for quizzes.
Basically class info to make sure I'm up to date and that I'm not missing anything.
Blackboard is evolving to the smartphone era.
Students can now access Blackboard on their mobile devices. Specifically at MATC, they can do so by downloading the MATC To Go app. They can do that by visiting mobile.matc.edu. Can download that app to their smartphone or mobile device and access Blackboard. There's a Blackboard app within that app where they can access their courses, view important information and their grades within their courses, things like that.
On my iPod, so it was very useful. I can take my iPod anywhere with me.
As technology progresses, so does Blackboard.
In the future, I expect Blackboard to be increasing access for social media like Twitter and Facebook. I expect to see Blackboard really tying in as to the student experience socially, so students can interact beyond their classes, being part of the university online.
Your students can stay home and watch a lecture once from home or wherever they are on the go. But it'd be nice to see the person face to face if a student has a problem, because we're living in a world now where you don't really need to be with that person.
With so many tools and features, Blackboard helps teachers and students alike. Happy learning.
Animation. It's an art that brings life from paper to screen. MATC offers numerous programs every year, and animation is one of them. Tim Decker and Brian Manna gave us an insight on the program.
The animation program had its roots way back in 2001 when there was 3 classes that were started off as an offshoot from the Vicom program. From there it just kind of snowballed and turned into its own program. And by what, 2005, we were a full associate degree. This room is one of the new and exciting things in the animation program. This was added a couple years ago and is one of the first of its kind in the world, actually, digital life drawing. So we're doing all of our work directly on the screens rather than on paper.
Yep. Also, we added Toon Boom Animation and Toon Boom Storyboard Pro, and it's actually Toon Boom Animate Pro. And those are 2 software programs that are made for 2D animation. We've added that, along with bringing in Seth Swanson, who was an animator from Electronic Arts.
Students came to voice their opinion.
Mr. Decker has challenged me on every level. I have a different style of artwork. I'm coming from Japanimation style to Disney style, and it's kind of hard, but he's been really helpful. He makes known what he doesn't like, and sometimes that's hard, but in a way he's helping you develop tough skin because in the real world you need it for animation.
Tim Decker, he's pretty hard, but it comes from a good place. He wants us to take it seriously, understand that not only is it fun, but it's also a business.
Students should be part of this program. It's a great way to explore your imagination, and it's a fun way to keep animation alive.
It's kind of a shock to them, but they end up usually being some of my better artists and some of my better students because they work at it.
If you like drawing, you gotta have a passion to draw. That's the first thing. But, they'll help you out. Their instructors are helpful in their ways.
Being a tech college, we have state-of-the-art technologies, whereas the University of Wisconsin, they don't have the funding or the school's so big that when the budget's set out, it's a smaller piece of the pie. So they really do not have the technologies that we have here.
Right.
And we find that a lot of the UWM students graduate and come here to learn the technologies.
So we have a much deeper program where there are classes at UWM that they deal with film style and actually even teach some puppetry and some claymation, which is fantastic and actually expands what we do here. But we have a much more kind of deeper program that goes from the basics all the way through advanced techniques.
One thing I like about MATC, because a lot of people say that, even though it's like a junior college, it's like a lot of your instructors have experience, so they can, they can give you feedback and let you know, okay, if this is gonna work, if you do have a project like this, will you make, income off of it, and that's our goal. So,
if you crave to bring ink to life, if you want to make it a career, then MATC's animation program is for you. Abdullah El Qaoud reports.
That is some very helpful information from both of those segments. Well, we're still here with TJ in our studio, and I want to talk to you a little bit about Letters to Santa because you were the executive producer. So can you tell us a little bit about what Letters to Santa is first, for those who don't know, and what exactly executive producer all entails?
Okay, Letters to Santa is a 6-program series that airs before Christmas. The first one is on the 17th. Everyone should watch. And basically the show is built around Santa Claus in studio, surrounded by children who have written letters to him, and he reads those letters and he talks about what gifts that they're asking for. He talks about, he talks a lot about where you should put those trees. Where you should put those presents. That's a big part for Santa. And then on top of that, they have segments that are created by my classmates and myself that are usually Christmas themed or holiday themed at best. So that's basically what it is. And then as my role as executive producer was to kind of oversee the whole thing, obviously, and then just to make sure that everyone was doing what they were supposed to, and that's kind of where it started, and then it goes from there. And then you also created a short little package this show. Oh, that creative package that you did. Can you give us a little tease for what we're going to see later in the show? Okay, sure. It was created with my friend and classmate Jabril Gagale, and basically we wanted to look at what goes on behind the scenes at Stormwatch, but we didn't really want to make it like a documentary style as much as kind of more a fun look at it where you can see what goes on, you can hear what goes on, but it's more of an interesting way than just voyeuristically looking at it. Well, we're very excited to see it, but first we're going to go and look at Open Mic Night here at MATC. Student producer Adam Weiner was there to cover the live event showcasing comedy, poetry, and nearly everything in between. Students immersing themselves in their own culture is nothing new to MATC. Sam Eng looks into Native American dancing at the West Allis campus.
We went to the open mic poetry reading the Phoenix Literature and Art Society held in the T Building to get an idea of what the Phoenix is.
The Phoenix, or the PLAS, Phoenix Literary Art Society, it's a group of like-minded individuals that like art, poetry, writing, anything pretty much that deals with the literary field. And it's a grouping of us that get together and help edit and put together a magazine and now a pamphlet that is also at the campuses.
Recently, one of our main goals has been realized by the open mic event we have just held on the 20th of November, where we invited a group of high school students from Pulaski High School who are also trying to create their own literature and art magazine and kind of grow that community at their own schools.
We caught up with the Phoenix's guest poet after the reading.
You know, readings like the Phoenix and a publication like that, I think empower students to kind of, maybe step out from behind just a facade that they would normally walk up and down the hallway with, and to really express much more deeper kind of artistic ideas. And once you get the bug of getting something published, you engage and you want to do it more.
So how do open mic readings like this one benefit the community?
Being involved in the creative arts opens your mind to a lot of possibilities. It helps you become familiar with concepts and words and ideas from other cultures. It helps you practice your critical reading and writing skills. And all of these things we're hoping to pass on in this kind of peer mentorship with Pulaski High School and maybe other high schools and other avenues like public libraries and that kind of thing. So this is our first step, and that's how we've done it so far.
I feel that the arts in general, help the community
being that it's an outlet, it allows for you to release stress, release frustrations, release anything that you may have bottled up inside of you in a constructive, very, very appealing sort of way.
At the MATC West Dallas campus, Daniel Preston is a member of the student government and also the chairman of community affairs.
I try to do at the West campus or this semester is bring culture to the campus, make everyone aware of Native American culture. That I was asked by Patrice, which is the advisor of student life, if I knew anyone. And I brought my brother, because my brother is well known throughout the Milwaukee area.
So without further ado, let me introduce to you Mr. Ron Preston.
My main goal in coming here to demonstrate my dancing and my singing is to show them that Native America is still alive. We're a very proud people. There's a lot of times when I meet people who have no idea what it is that we do. You know, they think that because you're Native American or you live on a reservation or you own a casino, it's so much more than that.
That dancing looks like fun. For more events like these, check out MATC's website. We're still here at TJ, and my next question for you is, what keeps you motivated in a program that's so challenging?
That's a good question. What keeps me motivated? I guess, you know, I really want to do something with my life, period. And I feel like this is the best avenue for me to do it. This is something that I'm relatively good at, and, you know, I'm not 18 anymore. You know, I don't have time to just mess around. So that knowledge that, like, I got to keep moving forward is what really motivates me, I guess.
And what advice would you give to, like, the first year students who are in this program and students who are thinking about joining the program?
Well, and specifically for first years, I would say, you know, say yes to everything. You know, I volunteered for pretty much everything that I've been able to do. I've helped out on, and I've tried to learn as much as I can through those processes. That's what really helped me gave me the confidence to do Letters to Santa. Was I was there at Letters to Santa last year. I was at the Student Operations Day. I saw all that, how that all went and how they're working together. And so I think just, even if you're not, you know, running camera or, you know, working on lighting, if you're just there, you know, you're soaking in the knowledge as best you can. So say yes to everything, would be my advice.
And then for those students who aren't sure if they want to get into TV or not, what would you tell them?
I mean, that's definitely a tough thing because, like, there's, as you said, there's a lot of work. And if you're kind of not sure if this is really what you want to do, you're going to get burned out and washed out real fast. And I'd hate for someone to waste their time. So, I mean, all I can say is, you know, really think about it. And, you know, if this is what you want to do, if you want to be creative, if you want to make video that people are going to see, then this is where to do it.
And then for you, what's your dream job after graduation?
After graduation, I'd like to, you know, start producing and, you know, work my way up that ladder and find some, you know, I just want to be part of getting TV on air. So any way that happens is good for me.
Well, maybe we'll see your name on some big television show
That'd be
someday.
nice.
Well, lastly, before we go, we will learn about MATC's H building in the 1990s. After that, we will take an insider's look at the making of this very program, Stormwatch. It's unique because the show is run entirely by the TV video production students here at MATC. I want to thank you, TJ, for being here with us.
Thank you, Caitlin.
You're welcome. I'm your host, Caitlin. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to another episode of MATC 100 Years. And it looks like we've made it all the way to the 1990s. And there is no way of talking about MATC in the 1990s without talking about the technology explosion. 90s also brought us the H Building at MATC. The H Building is home base to MATC's medical-based associate degree programs like nursing, EMT training, and dental hygiene.
The building was built in the 90s. Our responsibility is to take care of technology in all the buildings. The technology has been changed 3 times in this building in every room, and the rooms have been remodeled twice since it was built because of changes. In the nursing profession, we've done a lot of changes, a lot of upgrades, and built actual rooms that are like hospital rooms. And hospitals keep upgrading technology, so we have to keep pace with the hospitals.
Hi, my name is Joan Ewig, and I'm one of the instructors in the Associate Degree Nursing Program at Milwaukee Area Technical College. And our labs here have just been newly remodeled. We have computers now at the bedside so that the students can do all their documenting on the computers as well as look up their patients' medications if they need to. We also have a big master computer at the top of the room so that if the instructor wants to show them anything in terms of overheads or movies, we can show them on the big screen. You see that on the wall we have suction equipment, and so the students will be using that today. And they have simulated oxygen equipment, and so they will be using that today to simulate that they are starting oxygen on their clients.
That was just another small bit of information on MATC's history. For more information, log on to www.matc.edu for more interesting facts and photos. And don't forget to tune in next week for the year 2000.
Interesting.
Challenging.
Buffalo.
During every week there's a show and you're working a different aspect on the day of the show, but you're also doing something during the whole week leading up to it. And that's what I think is different about everything else in this program so far.
Since it's such an independent endeavor that we're in. I mean, it's all student-made stuff, it's all student-directed, student-produced and stuff like that. We're put in these positions that we've never been really put in before. Making these half-hour programs every week. And we have to produce content, produce guests and stuff like that. If you can to make it all work in and put it in a show format. I mean, it's different in a lot of ways, I suppose, but just being in that situation, it's such a unique situation that we're
in. Everything's in our hands. It's a challenge. Things go wrong. Things happen. It's a challenge, but I think everybody works a little bit better under pressure.
Got into our groove, we all became more independent of ourselves and knowing what the format of the show was. And then as it progressed, it became more knowledgeable and just made their own. They helped out a lot.
Stormwatch has been fulfilling because I think it's really awesome that after the show is done and it goes online, it's awesome to see your name on there. Like, I did this. Like, I can go home and show my friends and my family, hey, watch this. Like, I was a part of this. And people I don't even know are watching it, and they're seeing my name, whether I was the camera operator, the director, the producer. I was a part of something that is now airing online for tons of people to see. So it's really fulfilling.
I'd say just because, you know, there's less teacher involvement. I mean, they're still there to help you, but it's mainly figure it out on your own. I think that's what's challenging.
Has taught me probably a lot about what we need to be prepared for after graduation and what a real working environment is going to be about. I mean, no one's going to sit there and hold your hand and tell you if you're doing your job correctly. In that moment, it is you do what you've learned, and I guess that's the best way to learn, is to do what you know. In a situation like that, no one's going to be like, oh, you're doing that wrong, let me show you how to do it. No, do what you know. That's one thing it taught me, you know, how it's going to be in the real world.